Good afternoon, everybody. Very hot Wednesday afternoon there outside. Soccer season is going to be right around the corner, so figured might as well start doing some soccer interviews, transition out of softball, get some preseason info for some of the teams, and talk about recapping last season. And today, very special guests, multi-sport athlete, going to be a senior at Wall High School. They made back-to-back group finals. Hopefully, they get over the hump this year and bring home that group title. Defender Erynn Richey. Erynn, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Also, was my number one set piece player of the year. So, yeah. So, Aaron is very good at set pieces, whether it's at the 50-yard line or a corner kick. So, but look out for that next season. But Aaron, thank you for joining me. And first, I know Wall is in that summer league 2 or 3 weeks in. I know it's tough because it's 7v7, but how do you think the team is starting to shape up?
I think it's building a lot of our chemistry because we have like a lot of younger girls, I feel like. So it's letting them kind of still get into the groove of things and just overall us being together, I feel like it's just going to help in the long run.
Now, let's talk about your past season. Uh, Won back your second sectional in a row, made it to the group final, which I know said, you lost two in a row, but how many schools could actually say they made two straight group finals? So it's a great accomplishment. Now, new coach last season, right? It was Andy's first season. What was her message when the season first started last year?
Well, she like instilled like a lot of like team stuff like before games. Like we had a routine before games. Like we said like this I don't I, it's called hold rope. We said that before every game. We hit a sign before we got off the bus. We just had like these routines. We all had these ropes tied on our bags. So it was just like she I feel like was bringing us all together and it that helped us a lot.
Yes, the chemistry was definitely very, very good for your squad. Now,
Yeah.
when you brought back there was a lot of returning girls next season. You lose a couple big pieces, but you bring back majority of the team, and you got some players that didn't get really minutes last season, but I could already see from being at the fields on Monday they're going to make an impact right away. The one big player that graduated, Eileen Carr, um, one of the best center backs. I say the state. How do first obviously coach is going to decide who's going to be playing that big position in the middle, but what kind of person needs to like fill those shoes, like because she was a special player both mentally and her skill wise.
Yeah. I mean, I don't no one could ever fully fill those shoes, but Aileen was just such a great player, but I think that enough people have seen her play that are like, "Oh, I need to step up my game to try and fill those shoes." And I think we have a couple of those players that could do that.
Yeah, you definitely do, and then playing under her the last season or the last two seasons is good. I want to talk about the Seneca game. The very
Yeah.
very exciting game. Um, what was, you know, standing at, midfield when the game goes into the shootout, right? That was the Seneca game. Am I looking at the
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, went to the shootout. What are your thoughts and just talk about, seeing the performance Nelly did in in that shootout was pretty impressive. But what are your thoughts when, game ends and you're going into the shootout, and if you're going to be one on one shooting, what is your mentality going up to the spot?
Yeah. So this year I didn't I wasn't a PK taker. I kind of just it was I had my concussion and then it was just like I don't know. I just they practice after practice every single every single practice. So they kind of had their groove and I was like I trust them. Like I had full faith in them and then seeing Nelly just like be literally amazing. Like it just made me like so happy, and I had full trust in both of like all of our PK takers and her.
Now, talk about the excitement in playing in a game like that, because back and forth, you girls went down, but there was no quit. You girls brought it. There's a couple chances that you could have ended it in regulation, but just how fun is it to play in a back and forth game like that?
It was it was scary, but it was really fun. I had like I don't know, I feel like everyone like knew we were gonna win. Like there was just like a overall like feeling that we were like we can do this, like we're gonna win.
How, what was, coach's reaction, the fact that, the Rumson game, same thing, for the sectional title. What was it that, Wall had to keep going into these PKs?
Well, she was just like, this is why we practice. She's like, this is why we practice them. Like all your hard work throughout the game, like you just have to finish it. And we did it.
Now, you brought up your concussion, happened in the Manasquan game. Ironic that you got injured on, what was, probably a 50-50 ball. But,
Yeah.
the player you went up against, I thought probably should have been ejected earlier in the game for, I'm not going to say who, whatever, because it's a moot point, but, she collided in the goalie, which is an automatic card early in the game.
Hmm.
And then, I think it was you did checked into the fence at
Yeah.
one point. I think it was you,
Yeah.
which should have been another card. But concussion, how disappointed were you because it was right before the RBC game, which was and I know talking to the RBC coach from last year, his team knew not to commit any fouls inside the 50 with your free kick. But how disappointed was it to miss such a big game like the RBC game?
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember a whole lot after the game, like right after, but like the next morning, I just remember going to practice and just being like devastated that I couldn't play. And they both went into overtime,
Yeah.
like both a double overtime, actually. Both of them went into the RFH game too.
Yeah, the RFS came right after that,
Yeah.
where I think
So
they tied the game in the final minute, right? And then I think they scored in the final minute of overtime to
they
win it.
scored 6 seconds left.
Yeah. RFH had
Yeah.
a few of those games though, so
Yeah.
don't think it was just Wall. Now, what were your symptoms? Like, how long did like? And obviously, I've never had a concussion, but I know your head and what did like light affect you and stuff? Was it that bad? Like serious? Because I know you did wear that safety,
Yeah.
headpiece the rest of the season. But
Yeah.
how long until you actually where you fully felt yourself?
The first week I like was not myself at all. Like I was not really doing anything. Would go out occasionally, but not like a lot. But then I feel like I started to get myself back after like a week and a half probably. And then I think 2 weeks later I played.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Now, not to switch to basketball, but you banged your head in the WOBM. Did you have any effects after from that when you banged your head in the WOBM?
yeah, so that like immediately like it was like the same kind of like area. So it like swelled and then
Oh,
I had headaches for a couple days after that, but not as bad as soccer.
yeah. Yeah, I was at that game. That was a rough one, soccer. Yeah, I laughed because JT he ran right on the court when he saw your head
Oh,
hit the ground from
I know that.
repetition.
Yeah, I rewatched that film and I always need to like thank him. I'm like, because I just remember like my eyes like opening and he was just there, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he
yeah,
didn't hesitate. He got out there because I think he saw the back of your head. You hit the
yeah,
floor. So yeah, and JT's he's one of the good ones that cares about the kids.
yeah.
So okay, so one question I like to ask juniors: what was something you wanted to improve on this past season?
Definitely, it was actually like corners and free kicks.
Okay.
Yeah, because um I don't know, I was like I usually didn't take them and
Uh-huh.
then I started to and then I was like I can be good at this. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I should have prepared better, but I don't, Wall scored on a good percentage of your corner kicks, whether
Yeah.
you put it in or, one of your teammates finished that, and you had a couple goals from 40, probably 40 yards. So, how do you work on some, especially not so much the corners, but, the free kicks from 35, 40 yards?
Yeah. Well, I actually live like right by the Manasquan turf, so I go there, um, and I just get reps in, and I just like over and over just do it.
That's, that's how you get better. Um, I think they said 12 minutes a day. If you practice at your sport, you're better than 95% of the people. I think I posted it on my Instagram a few times. So, all right, let's talk. How old were you when you first started playing soccer?
I think like I started Munchkin soccer when I was like 3.
Okay. At Wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right for soccer. How about, did you ever do any like AAU basketball or any basketball?
I
Or
did travel, like wall
oh,
travel, so I started
okay.
that in 3rd grade, I think.
Okay. Any other sports, or was those the two? Because I know you do lacrosse at high
Yeah.
school. Did you ever play club lacrosse or?
No, I
Right.
used to play I actually used to play like baseball with like
Okay.
the boys.
Okay.
And then like that was probably till I was like 8 or 9 or 10, and then I switched to softball.
Okay. What was it about soccer that was your passion and sport?
It was just like I feel like it was something that I like love to do. Like I just would go outside just because and like just kick around a soccer ball. Like I don't know, it just never like happened with like basketball or any of the other ones.
So who's your current club team for soccer?
I play on Wall Elite Napoli.
And that's been your team for how many years?
I would say I think it was since my 7th or 8th grade year.
Okay. Who's the coach?
Jonathan Schmid.
John Smith. Has he always been the coach? I don't know how Wall switches like other programs every couple of years.
Yeah, so I had Dan Cummings first, and
Okay.
then I had him for a while, and then I think it switched my going into my sophomore or freshman year. I
Okay.
got Jonathan, and I've had him.
Okay. How, I'll ask for like both coaches first, how did Dan help improve your game and then how did Coach Schmidt help improve your game?
Well, Dan was very like that was kind of like COVID too. So
Okay.
like after like but when COVID kind of like was like settling down, he would like get small groups out and he would just be like if any he would always do the extra like mile if like anyone needed anything, like needed work on something or like anything like that. And then Jonathan, I feel like is the same way. Like if I'm ever struggling on something, like I could always reach out to him and he gives me feedback. So
That's good. And when you receive feedback from any coach, do you embrace that or are you a type of player that doesn't want to hear it?
I think I embrace it. I might like my face might be like I don't like it, but like in my head I do like listen.
Yeah. So, I think I know you pretty well. You seem like the type of player that the coaches just knows you could do better in a particular thing and you'll work on that. Now, let's go to high school. Freshman year, obviously, I say this every interview, it could be nerve-wracking for incoming freshmen. What goals did you set for yourself? Especially Wall with soccer, because Wall's always had a pretty successful program. Not might not win state titles every year, but they're always competing with the best teams. So
Yeah.
what type of goals did you set going into your freshman year?
I really wanted to be on varsity. Like that was like my main thing. And even if I was like a practice player and didn't get into any games, like I just wanted to like be a part of like a program like that.
Okay. And how did Coach Jusko um help your game for the 2 seasons you played for him?
I loved him as a coach. So I liked his coaching. Like I took the took the criticism, but he was very helpful and he helped my development a lot.
he was a pretty good player at Wall. I remember when I wrote for the Co-Star, I remember covering him and his brother. So it was um they had a good person, a local person coaching
Hmm.
the team. Now, sophomore year, pretty big accomplishment, winning the sectional, getting to go to the state final. What was Coach Jusko's message, going into that state final game, the group final?
It was kind of just the same as like what I said before, but like we got to this point, like there's nothing else like we can get past, so just like leave it all out on the field.
What was your feeling after the game?
So the game before I actually like I sprained my MCL. I didn't know that till after, but so the Seneca game that we played at home, I
Okay.
sprained it and then I was trying to play and I only ended up playing like 15, 20 minutes in like the group finals. So that kind of like mentally like hurt me, but I still had full faith in our team.
What kind of recovery did you have to do to get your MCL back before the next season?
I had to do like 3-ish months PT and like
Okay.
nothing,
Okay.
like no sports. So
And you had no issues last season?
no.
Okay. Yeah, MCL, they don't, because I did something with my MCL and they don't like doing surgeries or that stuff for the MCL. It's the
Yeah.
ACL and something with the PCL, I guess. I don't. So next year, going into your senior year, first question I got, what do you hope to pass down to the underclassmen?
I hope to like to pass down that it's like we versus me. Like the team is only successful if you buy in.
Hmm. And that's big, I think I say it on almost every podcast now, but a mediocre team with good chemistry could go further than a very good team with a lot of I. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
my stats. Now, what goals do you have? Obviously, a three-peat for Central Jersey Group 2, and what other goals?
Well, I'm hoping to win an overall group because
Group.
the past 2 years, but also like the sectional too.
Okay. What about short conference tournament? Because I have Wall up there. You bringing back a lot of players.
Yeah, I think we can make a good run in there too. If not win it, at least make a good run.
Now, Wall graduated two very good goalies, and who's the goalie that is taking over?
So we have she'll be a junior. Her name's Maddie Peterson.
Okay. Was
She's
she the one I saw on Monday?
yeah,
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 she made some pretty good saves out
yeah,
there, and I heard from some people last year that she was that Wall would be they'll still be in good hands next season. So
yeah.
that's good, and that goes back. Kind of want to bring this up too. You stayed at Wall club soccer. A lot of players in Wall, and it's been that way since I coached. My sister when my sister played. Wall's always had a successful program in club, and they don't necessarily leave to go to the PDAs or the Cedar Stars. And for the majority, they stick together, and Wall High School gets the benefit. And I guess sometimes Madison, if they want to redistrict or something, I guess gets the benefit. Um, So just talk about, how the Wall Soccer Club, is such a family and, you stick together through high school.
Yeah, I just think I've been playing with Aaron Farrell since we were in third grade, maybe even earlier. So just like that relationship means a lot to me. And then seeing like Aileen, the team ahead of me, like older, like the age older than me, like stay. And like I was very close with that group too, because I would play with them a lot. And like, I don't know, I just feel like not everyone, but you know most people and it just gives it a different like feeling. I don't know.
Hmm. And I think Team Chelsea too, right? Are a lot of those players.
Yeah.
Yeah. the younger girls on the wall team.
Hmm.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yeah.
All right, what is your favorite TV show?
Hmm. I have I have two. Grey's Anatomy. That's I know that's that's a popular one, but also I watched 911.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The regular one or the 911
The,
Texas? Was it?
the
There's a
regular.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. I can't believe that show is that still going on? I think I asked that last year when a player said Grey's Anatomy.
I think so, but actually I could be wrong, but I don't know. I
That's
haven't made it through all of it yet.
all right. I stopped at season 11. I think I stopped at 11. I think there's like 10 more after that.
Yeah.
How about your favorite movie?
I feel that's a hard one. I like uh, I feel like all movies. Like I could watch anything.
All right, I'll let you off the hook there. Favorite school subject?
I would say math or science.
Okay. Favorite thing to eat?
Hmm. I I am picky, so chicken and fries is like my that's my go-to.
What is your go-to song to get you pumped up before a big game or focused?
I would say Travis Scott, like anything by Travis Scott. I like
Okay.
My Eyes.
Something you enjoy to do in your free time.
I like to go to the beach because I live right by the beach, so. And
Tip,
then I also like to just like drive around with my friends, listen to music.
beach, the typical short conference answer. Um, what would you rather? Big defensive stop or hitting a free kick from 35 yards or 40 yards?
That's I have to, this is a tough one. Honestly, I would probably say a free kick just because I don't know. I just get like a rush from that.
All right, I have a basketball one for you. Hit in a game winning 3 point or draw a charge.
Oh, draw charge, 100%.
Okay. I think Carr would probably say the same thing. I think she would probably
Yeah.
answer the same thing. Okay. Um, when you're done, when your soccer career is your playing career is over, do you want to stay involved with the sport?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Before we talk college, I want to talk a couple basketball things. Wall had a pretty good season last season. I know you graduating to three very good players. Um, just how was playing for Coach Wisher? She obviously stepped down to be more have more time with her family. But how was it playing for her, and how did she make you a better person?
Yeah, just like the energy that she would bring to like every practice and like every drill, like I just feel like instilled like my like work ethic like that much more. And like I don't know, she just I feel like she was very like family oriented as well.
Yes, yeah. Wall was my favorite team. You girls played an up and down pace, and um, what is the play? Here's the question. Doug will like this. What does she always yell? Red wheel. Red wheel?
Oh,
What
yeah.
is red wheel? Because she would yell it, and we were pretty sure you girls weren't running that play because the shot would go up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it is a quick play, but like
Okay.
it it can be continuous too. So like it's just whatever like Shane and Emily just
We would laugh because you girls would be in a big game and it'd be a good point to try to slow the game down. And nope, there was just no slowing down. And we could just see it in Coach Wisher's face. Like, what is going on here?
yeah, it's supposed to be just like cut and replace.
Okay.
So like
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was funny, the All-Star game. It was Shane and Emily were obviously on the same team. And
mhm.
who were they? They were with the Tom's River kids, I think. And then they went up against the four Ocean girls and then I think Allison Cannon. And the first three groups, there's four groups, 6 minutes each. The first three groups was like slow pace, like, and then those two groups went on, and the ref after the game was like, "I'm exhausted from that last group because they were both groups were just running up and down the
Yeah.
floor." So, obviously we expected that from Shane and Emily, but and kind of from the Ocean Girls because they know each other and they could get up to the girls. So there's some. I got a lacrosse question. What made you do lacrosse in high school?
So after I mean, I only played softball for either wall rec or middle school, so like I wasn't big in that anyway. So
Huh?
after my eighth grade season, I like kind of just got bored of it.
Hmm.
But
Usually
and I
soccer players get bored of softball.
yeah, so a bunch of my friends like Aileen,
Yeah,
Annalie, like were like, why don't you just play lacrosse? And like I don't know if you probably don't know Rory Paris, but she was a senior when I was a freshman,
I
and
remember the name.
she was just like, come play lacrosse. So I was like, why not? And I just freshman year tried it.
That was a question I didn't ask actually. Your freshman year, for soccer, any upperclassmen that you were able to go to, like if you weren't getting something or to make you feel like, part of the team?
Oh, 100%. I would say all of them. Like there's Carolyn Senna, Roy Paris, Katie Neufer, um, like there was a bunch more. Kelly Kinnear. Like there
Mhm.
was a lot of good role models that I had, not just on the field, but also off the field.
All right, let's talk your future, going to senior year, big recruiting year for soccer. Soccer is such a disadvantage because you really can't start talking to them until after sophomore year. But
Yeah.
what are you looking at like in colleges, that you're going on these visits? Like what attracts you that you could say, "Oh, I think I could spend my next 4 years here."
I would say close, but not like close, like a
Yeah.
good enough away, but also not like a lot, like far, far away. And I'm not like a big school either. I want smaller and just like I need like a family like feeling.
Okay. Where it's easy to get in and talk to your professor and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want to study?
Either special education or occupational therapy.
Okay. So what do you want? Like be a teacher or something like that?
Yeah, either I could be a teacher or I could have like my own like occupational therapist like thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely getting bigger, occupational
Yeah.
therapy. All right, last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would say that everything works out in the end. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
I didn't ask this in the beginning. I usually ask this, what have your parents meant, because, your mom's at every one of your games. What has your family meant to you, through this whole journey?
Yeah, they're like my greatest support system. Like my brothers, my three older brothers, they're always texting me either good or after a good or bad game. My parents always there if I need anything. uh, Well, before I could drive, like a ride anywhere to the turf or like anything. They're so supportive.
Okay. All right, Erynn, thank you for taking time out today. And, look for, definitely have Wall in the top five preseason. So hopefully, I think you girls are going to contend for a short conference tournament this season. So hopefully you make me look good. Um, and, hopefully you return to the state final and go out on top this season. So who did you play last season in the state? What was that?
Like
In
this
the state
past,
final? Yeah, this past
I think it was Ramsey.
Ramsey. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
they were pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if they were senior heavy.
I think they did. They had someone going to Seton Hall, I think.
Man, I'll pull it up. I got last. So you played West Morris the year before. They're
Yeah.
they're usually always, pretty good. Of course, NJ.com's being Ramsey. All right, let's see. Oh, you can still watch that game. That's pretty cool. 3-1 though. Ugh.
Yeah.
That was did you as a defender, how difficult, and I know it was a couple seasons they did this, is rotating the goalie every half. If you were a goalie, how difficult do you think that would be?
Yeah, I feel like we like at that point had gotten used to it. Like we
Yeah,
knew
because they did it the year before too, right?
yeah. And like we knew each one of their strengths and like what we needed to like help them with. So it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be. I would feel bad because say one goalie gets in, doesn't see any shots, and a team's winning 2-0, and then all of a sudden the other team comes out ball on fire and takes a million shots, and the other goalie has a great game, but they end up losing. That's what I would feel bad for because not every each half is a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
NJ.com doesn't want to lose, so I don't know if Ramsey has young players are young, so we'll won't worry about that. But I would say Wall's favorite to get back there. Oh, so because I know Seneca graduated their big guns, or at least one of
Yeah.
them. So she was pretty good.
Yes.
The girl going to Rutgers, right? She's going to Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. All right. I will let you go. Thank you for taking time out today. And good luck this season, and I'll see you on the fields.
Thank you so much.
No problem.